Welcome back to the channel Coins Collector everyone to another exciting video on the channel. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and talked about coins in American numismatic history. We are going to be looking closely at the legendary 1967 quarter dollar. This coin has become a treasure for collectors all around the world. Some of these coins have fetched incredible prices at auctions and private sales, and the market has shown figures that go as high as $1.1 million. Yes, you heard that right, one single quarter that could potentially be worth more than a house, more than a luxury car, and certainly more than its face value of 25 cents. So grab your seat and stay tuned, because by the end of this video you will know exactly why this coin is so special, the historical background behind it, the reasons collectors place such huge value on it, and how the market today continues to surprise us. Now let us start with the basics. The 1967 quarter dollar belongs to the Washington Quarter series. The Washington Quarter was first introduced back in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. For decades this coin carried forward as an essential part of everyday American currency. But the 1967 issue holds a particular place in history because it was struck during a very unusual period for U.S. coinage. The mid-1960s were a time of major transition in the United States Mint. Because of a national coin shortage, the government made the decision to remove mint marks from coins between 1965 and 1967. This was done to discourage collectors from hoarding coins based on their mint origins. So any 1967 quarter you pick up will not show a mint mark at all. That fact alone makes the year interesting to collectors, but there is more to the story. In 1965 the mint also changed the composition of quarters. Before that year, quarters were made of 90% silver. After the Coinage Act of 1965, silver was removed and replaced with a copper-nickel-clad composition. That means by 1967 the quarters were no longer struck in silver, but in this new layered composition that featured a copper core and nickel outer layer. This change alone makes any pre-1965 silver quarter valuable for its bullion content. However, with the 1967 quarter, the rarity and high value comes not just from silver content, because these are not silver, but from rare striking errors, limited production varieties, and the extreme condition of some coins that survived in mint state quality. When we talk about a coin that sells for over $1 million, it is not just an average pocket change coin. These are coins with something extraordinary about them. Some 1967 quarters have shown double die obverse errors, where the lettering and design elements appear doubled under magnification. Others have off-center strikes, clipped planchets, or unusual misprints that collectors go crazy for. Rarity in combination with condition creates value. The rarest of these coins in perfect high mint state grades can sell for astronomical sums. That is why one particular 1967 quarter has been reported with a market value around $1.1 million. The story of that $1 million coin has inspired thousands of people to search their change, to look through old jars of coins, and to bring boxes of quarters from the bank in hopes of discovering a hidden treasure. This treasure hunt is part of the fun of coin collecting. Every coin has a story, but only a few have the magic combination of rarity, error, and condition that sends their value soaring. And the 1967 quarter is right at the center of that mystery. Let us step back and look at the historical context for a moment. The year 1967 in America was a year of change. It was the height of the Vietnam War, the summer of love was happening, cultural shifts were moving rapidly, and the country was on the verge of dramatic transformation. Against this backdrop, the U.S. Mint was trying to stabilize the coin supply. Millions of quarters were produced, but because no mint marks were used, it has become more difficult for collectors to pinpoint exactly where specific rare varieties came from. That mystery adds another layer of fascination. Now you might be wondering, how do collectors determine the value of a coin like this? The answer lies in grading. Coins are graded on a scale from poor all the way up to mint state 70, which represents a flawless coin. Most quarters from 1967 are heavily circulated, showing scratches, wear, and dullness from years of use. These are worth only face value. But if a coin was saved right after it was struck, never entered circulation, and has survived in pristine condition, it can receive a high grade from professional grading companies such as PCGS or NGC. A coin graded mint state 67, 68, or even 69 can be worth thousands of dollars. Pair that with a rare error or variety, and you have a coin that collectors will bid on aggressively, sometimes reaching hundreds of thousands or even over $1 million. So why does the 1967 quarter in particular stir so much attention compared to other years? Part of the answer is timing. The removal of mint marks, the change in silver composition, and the unique circumstances of the 1960s created a perfect storm. Collectors realized later that coins from this era were harder to distinguish, and thus some rare varieties were overlooked for years. Once a few exceptional coins were discovered and authenticated, their rarity was confirmed and values skyrocketed. Word spread, articles were written, and suddenly the 1967 quarter became legendary. In today's market, coin values continue to rise, especially for rare varieties. Investors see coins as tangible assets, not just collectibles. A coin like the $1,1967 quarter is not just a piece of money, it is a piece of art, a piece of history, and a limited treasure that can never be recreated. Demand continues to grow while supply remains fixed, and that is what pushes the market higher. For those of you watching, this is also a reminder. Check your coins. Go through your change. Search your old collections, because you never know what you might have. Even if you do not find the $1 million coin, there are many 1967 quarters that can be worth hundreds or thousands of dollars depending on condition and variety. The thrill of discovery is one of the greatest joys of coin collecting. As we continue this video, we will break down the different types of errors to look for, the grading process, and how you can protect your coins to preserve their value. We will also explore recent auction records, show you examples of high-value 1967 quarters, and guide you on how to get your coins appraised. So make sure you stick around, because the story of the 1967 quarter is more than just about money. It is about history, it is about culture, and it is about the excitement of finding something rare in the most ordinary places. What makes it so special is that it started as just another coin in circulation, passed from hand to hand buying groceries or paying for gas, but today it stands as one of the most valuable modern coins in American history. Stay with me until the end of this video and I promise you will walk away with new knowledge, a fresh appreciation for coins, and maybe even the motivation to start searching your change for treasures hiding in plain sight. Today, if you love coins, history, and stories of hidden treasures, then you're in the right place. Today we are diving deep into one of the most fascinating and surprising coins in modern American history, the 1992 quarter dollar from the United States. On the surface, this coin looks like any other Washington quarter you might find in your pocket change, but its story is extraordinary. Some of these coins have sold for life-changing money, with market value soaring as high as $631,000. Yes, you heard that right, over $500,000 for a single quarter, the very same denomination you might use in a vending machine or a parking meter. Now, before we jump into the numbers, let's take a moment to appreciate the history of this coin. The Washington quarter was first introduced back in 1932 as a way to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. Over the decades, the Washington quarter became one of the most familiar pieces of change in America. By the time we reached the early 1990s, the design was still carrying Washington's portrait on the obverse, or the front of the coin, and the reverse featured the heraldic eagle that had been in use for many years. The year 1992 was not the first year of this design, and to many collectors it may seem unremarkable at first glance. But when we dig deeper, we discover why certain examples of the 1992 quarter have shocked the numismatic community and captured the imagination of collectors worldwide. The D mint mark stands for Denver, the United States Mint branch located in Denver, Colorado. This mint is well known for producing billions of coins over the decades, and in 1992 alone, tens of millions of Washington quarters were struck there. The vast majority of those coins circulate with little to no extra value beyond their face value. But every once in a while, something goes wrong or something unusual happens during the minting process. It could be a die error, a wrong planchet, a double strike, or a transitional design feature. These little quirks can turn an ordinary coin into a rarity worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars. That is exactly the case with the legendary 1992 D quarter that reached a value of $631,000. Collectors often ask, what makes this coin so valuable? The truth lies in rarity and demand. A coin can be rare, but if collectors are not interested in it, the value may not be impressive. On the other hand, when a coin is both rare and highly sought after, the price can skyrocket. In the case of the 1992 D quarter, certain error coins or coins struck in pristine condition with unusual features have driven collectors into bidding wars. Some of these coins have been preserved in nearly flawless mint state, graded by professional grading services at the highest levels possible. When such coins enter the auction block, the excitement is palpable, and serious collectors are willing to pay staggering amounts to secure them. To put this into perspective, think about holding 25 cents in your hand. That is what most people see, just a regular piece of change. But for the collector who knows the story, that same coin could represent a piece of history and a ticket to fortune. Imagine finding one of these 1992 D quarters in your pocket or tucked away in a jar of coins you have forgotten in the closet. It is the ultimate treasure hunt, and it is part of what makes coin collecting such an exciting and rewarding hobby. Let's explore the background a little further. The early 1990s were an interesting period for American coinage. The mint was still using traditional designs, but changes were on the horizon. The famous state quarters program was less than a decade away, and collectors were beginning to pay more attention to modern coins in circulation. The year 1992 itself saw proof sets and special issues released from the San Francisco Mint, while the Denver Mint continued to produce circulation strikes. Most of these Denver coins were ordinary, but a few slipped through with characteristics that made them stand out forever. One of the reasons the 1992 D quarter achieved legendary status is because of the combination of condition rarity and collector demand. Coins that remain in mint state condition after 3 decades are already scarce, but when you add the possibility of unusual varieties or transitional errors, the value can climb to unbelievable heights. Grading companies like PCGS and NGC have confirmed the existence of ultra-high-grade examples, and auction records show just how much collectors are willing to pay. $631,000 for a quarter is not just a dream, it is a documented reality. For anyone new to coin collecting, this might sound unbelievable. How can a 25-cent coin be worth more than a house or even a luxury car? The answer comes down to scarcity, demand, and the passion of collectors. Think of it the same way people collect art, vintage cars, or rare stamps. The value is not only in the metal but in the story, the rarity, and the status that comes with owning something unique. The 1992 D quarter tells a story of American history, minting processes, and the enduring popularity of the Washington Quarter series. As we continue through this video, I want you to think about the coins you handle every single day. How many times do we pass along change without even looking closely? That quarter you drop into a vending machine could potentially be a rare variety. That roll of quarters you pick up from the bank might just contain a hidden gem. Collectors all over the world have learned that treasures often hide in plain sight, and the 1992 D quarter is one of the best examples of that truth. So what should you look for if you want to find a valuable 1992 D quarter? The first step is to check the condition. Coins that look brand new, with no scratches, wear, or discoloration, are the ones worth setting aside. The second step is to check for unusual features. Look for doubled lettering, misaligned strikes, off-center designs, or other minting errors. Even small differences can make a huge impact on value. And finally, if you think you have something special, consider sending it to a grading service. A professional opinion can make all the difference and confirm whether your coin is one of the rare gems. The market for rare coins has only grown stronger in recent years. As collectors search for investment opportunities and unique pieces to add to their collections, prices have risen across the board. The 1992 D quarter, with its famous $631,000 sale, has become a symbol of just how valuable modern coins can be. This is not just about ancient gold pieces or colonial coins anymore. Even something as recent as the early 1990s can hold staggering worth. So welcome back once again to the channel, and thank you for joining me on this journey into the world of the 1992 D quarter dollar. Throughout this video, we are going to break down the details, share the stories, and inspire you to take a closer look at your own change. Who knows, the next fortune could be sitting right there in your pocket.